Hello, and welcome to ABW Radio. How the devil are we all? Yeah, nobody is happy, are they? What a bag of crap. Unbelievable. With me tonight, we have John Welsh. Hi, John. How are you, pal? You right?
Yeah, I'm all right, Jace. I was having a pretty good week until today, to be honest. Let's put a little bit of a sour note on it.
A bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
We're going to go into this in more detail now. Some shout outs to the chat box. J Rob, Daniel Cronin, and 235100. Archie, Matthew Stern, Carlito Alguna, Brian Donaldson, Ethan McGowan, I missed somebody, guy. No, I didn't. Benny Ogden, CeeLaw AFC, Alba 7, Unique 79 is there, the McManus is there, MSM 25, Sean Baker, Rudy Rastlos, Marco Bricks is there, the Long Blake Road, Kieran James, Timmy Toby AN. How the devil are we all? I hope you're all well, guys. Well, let's be honest, we're not bloody happy at the moment, are we? Right, we're gonna go straight into the game, guys, and do slightly differently today. We're just gonna chat in general about the game and about the goals, and just go from there. Gunashai 77 is there as well. Hello. John, lineups, no Rambo, no Ozil, no Koscielny, no Jack, but Lacazette and Aubameyang starting, and young Chris Willock. What were your thoughts?
Joe Willock. Chris Willock's
Joe Willock.
Chris
got a Benfica.
Oh, Benfica. Yeah. I wasn't surprised that Ramsey and Ozil were rested. It's keep them wrapped up for Europa League games. I was surprised to see Aubameyang and Lacazette starting. I didn't expect that. I thought, maybe Lacazette will get 30 minutes here and there, just keep his sort of minutes ticking over between Europa League ties. But I was excited to see it. It's something that a lot of us have wanted to see. Aubameyang starting from the left as well, not through the middle, which is what the manager said. Some people said, oh, maybe that wouldn't work. But actually, I thought it looked quite good in the first half. They weren't just holding their positions either. They were changing about. And it was, again, another exciting prospect, Joe Willock getting a start. In retrospect, maybe not the best game to give him his debut in, but ahead of the game, I thought, seems sensible. Newcastle were just about safe. They're not really scrapping in the relegation. They're in decent form, but he's got good players, solid players around him like Xhaka and El Neni, so he should be okay and have some protection. So it's quite excited to see the lineup, mostly the sort of forward line.
Yeah, the problem we got is there's such a lack of depth in midfield at the moment.
Jack was taken out of the squad. I think rightly so. We've said before, he looks very tired. Looks like
let's be fair, he's been crap, okay?
No, he has been crap as well.
Crap.
Yeah.
For all the looking tired, okay, his performances have been embarrassing.
Yeah,
I'm sick and tired of defending people now. So if everybody's fucking having it at the moment, I'm done. Right, Lazy Pythons in the box. Norma Ott, love Norma Ott. Ida Marvin. Who was there? Junior Gunner was there. Oh, there's somebody else I want to give a shout out to. Timmy Toby AN was there. K-Man is there. Joshua Page is there. Again, Mustafi's getting a bit in the box as well, would you have liked to see Holding and Chambers sitting there in the centre-half spots together? Because, let's be fair, Mustafi's had a bit of a tough time recently as well.
Yeah, I don't think Mustafi's played particularly well. I've been giving him some stick on the last couple of shows. We all talk about some of the great blocks and stuff, and he did a few again today that he throws his body on the line, but he also makes really bad decisions as well, diving in too early sometimes and just, switches his brain off. So, I wouldn't have mind seeding Chambers and Holding. The problem then you've got is who plays at right back, because, again, they wanted Bellerin to have a rest,
Yeah, we had AMN on the bench as well. You know, this is one of the things.
But that goes back to your lack of depth, though, doesn't it? If you put Ainsley Maitland-Niles out, then that's one less player to put on the bench. We're already scraping the barrel as it is for midfielders, with Jack being taken out the squad, Rambo being rested, Ozil's being rested as well. We've just got no one else, you know. So I think there is at the moment, kind of a needs must. And we know also that Arsene doesn't like to change the team too much. Like, he'll make some changes, but he's not going to make a wholesale sort of 11 changes.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's one of those, though. I just look at it and I just thought, I looked at the team and I was wondering where the creativity was going to come from midfield. But let's get into it. We first 10 minutes, a lot of back and forth. And was it 15 minutes in? We have the Lacazette goal. Really good cross from Aubameyang, and Lacazette doing well to get on the end of it. You know, at that point, were you thinking, "Oh, nice, let's build on this"? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, the start of the game wasn't the best. I thought it was a bit scrappy, and you know, no one really seemed to be able to get their foot on the ball and control it. But that break, you saw what Aubameyang can do with his pace, obviously, and it wasn't necessarily an inch perfect pull. It's just that he's a striker, so he knows where he would want the ball in the box. He just puts it in a good area. He knows Lacazette's in at the back post. Just put it in there and let your strike partner, you know, attack it. Or he was kind of his strike partner today. And it was nice to see the link up play and just a bit of understanding between the two of them. They did it a few times. They were trying to set each other up. And really good finish as well from Lacazette. He had to adjust his body for it, and you know, he's sort of taking it on the. It's not quite a scissor kick, but you know the way he sort of has the angle for it. It's a good finish. And the other thing as well is it's good to get that kind of crossing, because I thought the one thing we were going to struggle a little bit against Newcastle is they've got Lejeune they brought in, and the young English kid Lascales. Lascales? I don't know how you pronounce it. I've probably butchered that name.
I don't care.
I
don't care.
But they're very good in the air. So you know, getting those sort of they're really good at deliveries in that defenders don't want to touch or attack, because you know it can go anywhere. They're really good ball in, and I thought from there, you know, not lucky to get the goal, but I thought it was fairly even up to that point. And I thought, okay, this suits us now. You know, Newcastle have got to come on to us a little bit more, and we can try and hit them on the break, because I thought every time before that, when we had a chance to break, you saw the pace from Iwobi, Lacazette, Aubameyang, you know, and I thought El Neni as well was actually getting up quite high, and he has got a bit of an engine on him and can make those runs. So we look quite excited on the break today, I thought, or at least in the first half anyway. So I was expecting a few more of those sort of goals, you know, try and capitalise on a mistake or something. But yeah, we didn't push it enough after that first goal.
The problem is there was some poor decision making as well, and for as much as people pushed up, I didn't feel we got the support in. I mean, it was a great finish from Lacazette, right? A fantastic cross and a great stretch to get there, but you know, he was the only person in the box at that point I could see.
Yeah,
you know, there was nobody else there. You know, whenever we had opportunities, you had it will be making a chance for himself with good feet. Nobody finishing, following that up. You had Chambers trying to get on the end of a couple of things. Well, you know, if it's Chambers getting on the end of it, where are your midfielders? I thought it was a really tough.
We lacked that through the middle today, and I thought you saw. I think second half performance is totally different from what we did in the first half. I thought first half we played quite well, and you saw some really good things from Iwobi, like you said, that bit with his feet where he's got sort of 3-4 defenders around him. He's trying to create just a little bit of space, and he gets the shot off. Does really well to do that, but because he's playing from the right, he's not getting into the box as much, and he's trying to be more of a provider. And we saw what game was it where he's playing central? Last game we did the other weekend.
Last week.
Yeah. Was that Stoke?
Oh, Stoke. Was it Stoke?
Southampton.
Yeah.
Oh, they all meld into one. But everyone knows what I mean. But he through the middle, he played very well, and he was getting into the box more, getting on the end of things and making more chances. Whereas today he's playing from the right, so he's not really going to do that. And everything was kind of Lacazette or bust, kind of the chances were going to. Even Aubameyang, he only really had one or two efforts. Every time the ball was played into him, he was trying to lay it off to Lacazette, I felt. And that's the disappointment again, that as soon as you take Ozil and Ramsey out of the team, and obviously they're higher quality than a lot of the players you play today, that you do miss that real penetration through the middle and someone getting into the box and attacking the ball other than the striker.
The truth of the matter is the drop-off in quality is unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, the drop-off in quality. We got Gary Stryers, Ted Woods, Dan Sumption, Abuba 7, Lazy Python, AntCL 1082. Who else is there? Sakin Sodge is there as well. Quick shout out to Alistair Bennis, who replied to on Twitter to our advert of the podcast with, going back home now is going to be a longer flight. Longer than your flight from Moscow. 2-1 bitches, NUFC. Well, it's not as long as going to Mumbai, is it, Alistair? Go fuck yourself, you wankstain. Yeah, right. Okay. So the Perez goal with Yedlin now in our WhatsApp chat, a lot of blame being appropriated, but I thought it's a really decent ball from Shelvey. Dwight Gale did well with it, and Perez sneaks around Mustafi beautifully. I've got to be honest here. There are better teams than us who will let that goal in. Do you agree, or do you think we could have stopped it at some point?
I think there's elements of that goal you can definitely defend better, but I don't want to take away from Newcastle, because I thought that was a really well worked move. Shelvey showed how good he can be with his delivery today a couple of times. Dwight Gale I thought was excellent for them, and in that goal, just getting in behind the defence, stretching them, smart play, lays it off, then makes a little run, drags a defender. I think he moves holding, and then Yedlin. Monreal's out of position. Holding has to come across to Yedlin. He's not going to get there in time to block the cross. And then Mustafi, does he get a shout? I don't know. Again, we've talked about this before, communication. Is Mustafi being told that Perez is about to run across the front of him? And it's a really good finish from Perez. Don't take away from that finish, because that is really difficult technique. And also, I think Cech could do a bit better. It's his near post. He should be getting across that. But I guess from Cech's point of view, you don't expect the shot to go there. You expect your defender in front of you, Mustafi, to get to the ball. You don't expect the cross to come in. There's a lot in the build-up that's disappointing to the goal. But yeah, I don't want to take away from it, because it was a very good. If that was us scoring it, we'd be very pleased with that. Goal.
I'd be over the moon with that goal. Okay, the one bit I'm really annoyed about is where the hell are the midfield? They don't get back to cover. There's no desire to get back. Okay, and I'll be very blunt today. I thought Xhaka, El Nene, and Willock were all a bag of crap. They didn't control the game. We didn't set the tempo. They looked tidy when they weren't under pressure. When they were under pressure, they crumbled.
Yeah.
Now, Willock has the excuse. It's his Premier League debut, and I've got to be honest with you, I wouldn't have put him in for that one. His day was summed up by his miss from the through ball from Lacazette when he's in the box, not expecting it, not sharp. But, he wasn't the only one today. No. I wouldn't want to crucify him. It was a baptism of fire for Willock today. But with regards to Maitland-Niles, with regards to Reece Nelson, with regards to Chris Willock, you want a place in this team, you fucking earn it. And you fucking earn it on performance, not talent. You earn it on performance. Okay? If you think you're going to get first team appearances by putting that on the pitch, forget it. You can go to fucking Benfica. I couldn't give a shit. Sick and tired of us apparently losing great talents who've never proven anything. Chambers, yes, Carlito. Chambers also missed a chance. It wasn't quite as easy as the Willock one, though. But, again, the first half, we had some really beautiful interplay. The Chambers chance from Aubameyang, the Aubameyang free kick, Xhaka, nice ball out from the ricochet off the wall to Nacho, does well to get across to Chambers. He just can't stretch that far.
Yeah.
It was painful to watch, wasn't it?
I think the Chambers chance, I think, is that's what happens when a centre back tries to score a goal like that.
Yeah.
He hasn't. It's not he doesn't expect it in the same way a striker does. He doesn't react the same way, and we know Chambers isn't the quickest. Again, I thought Chambers' first half was actually quite good. I thought when he got down, considering again he's playing right back, not his position, but when he got wide, some of the balls he put in I thought were excellent. And sadly weren't attacked well enough. I thought he put them in really dangerous, difficult to defend areas. And again, and one thing we've been crying out for as well, first time balls. As soon as he got the chance, he was looking up, head up, putting the ball in straight away. But people in the box saying Chambers is not a right back. He's right, he's not. But he's asked to do a job there, and I thought first half he was quite good, and defensively I thought he was decent as well. Second half performance, it's a very different matter. But I just thought that the passing was a little bit off today. Everyone seemed to have the wrong boots on in the first half. Lots of players falling over for both teams. The sharpness wasn't there. We broke quickly, which was nice. Iwobi again, good carrying the ball. Bamiyang as well, obviously Lacazette. But the pass was always a little bit just behind someone, or or too far in front, or the finish and the connection wasn't quite good enough. And again, I mean, a couple of the players on the pitch, you can maybe say, oh, they played in Moscow, they're a bit tired, the travel and everything. I assume they went straight from Moscow to Newcastle and stayed in a hotel. I don't know.
They'd come home. They'd come home and flown up today, this morning, probably, I think.
So it's a quick turnaround. It's a lot of travel. Will that affect them? Yeah, might make them a little bit tired. And I think you saw that towards the end of the game. Some of the players did tire a little bit, and they looked, they were a little bit off the pace. But that has to be accounted for by the manager and some of his selections and his substitutions as well, because you're playing a Newcastle team that I think they're like 4th in the form league at the moment or something. They're on a really good run.
Yeah, they're doing quite well. I think that's the 4th win on the bounce.
Yeah,
but I look at Mustafi. I think Mustafi's got more performances than anybody else this season.
It's probably him and Xhaka, I think, like in terms of games
him and
played.
Xhaka, yeah. And this would have been an opportunity to put him on the bench. Again, we are paying the price. He's not in good form. He can do with a bit of a rest to come out the firing line. He can, but we're paying the price for carrying Laurent Koscielny, who we've known for ages has got an issue with something like this. And if you're not going to be able to play these players, what's the bloody point?
That goes to, if you know that as well, why do you let Gabriel go and things like that? Because you look at, today, like I said, just before we started today, I looked at the bench and then just realised Mertesacker was on it. I didn't even know he was on the bench. I hadn't paid attention. He's a player who's never going to come on.
In all fairness, with regards to Gabriel, I watched some of his performances. Let's be honest. He was not challenging for first team position.
No, you need squad players, don't you?
Yeah, you do. But let's go out and get people who are going to challenge for first team places. It's a case of you've got to have people challenging, and I don't understand why he didn't put Mustafi on the bench today. AMN at right back. I know it's a complete change.
Yeah.
It is a complete change, but you're talking Holding and Chambers, who have an understanding together, who've played age grade football, and and today I looked at us. I don't think the midfield did them any favors whatsoever. No. I've got to be honest here. Yeah, everybody in the chat box is having a pop at Mustafi here. Have a look at that midfield, because El Nene, Xhaka, and Willock were shit. Yeah. They were absolute shite today. End of the first half, my notes are Rafa is a fat twat.
my notes on Rafa were, I didn't realise he's only 58. I thought he was way older than that. He seems to have been around 58. For donkeys. Yeah. Jeez,
I look a bit old, but I'd like to stand next to him in the pub. Fantastic. Honestly, he's pissing and moaning. Even the commentator called him disingenuous, moaning about decisions. It was absolute joke, it was. Second half, mate, sort of even Stevens back and forth again. Iwobi gets a shot off Then you have Willock coming off for Welbeck. What were your thoughts on Willock's debut? Again, I don't think we want to be too harsh on him, but genuinely, you tell me your opinion.
I was disappointed. A couple of times he got like physical with players and, you know, managed to keep hold of the ball well, but he's very slight. I know that doesn't always necessarily mean that a player's weak, because you see small players who are very physically strong, but he looks slight and he looks a little bit small for the Premier League right now. That just, you know, that might be a case of me not knowing the player well enough because I haven't seen him in training and, you know, regularly. This is the first time I've seen him properly in a match. He's playing against a very physical midfield today, though. Like Shelvey and Diame are two big proper units who are going to seriously smash you about all over the place. So that doesn't make it easy for him. I thought his passing was tidy enough. You know, it's what you expect from somebody who's come from the Arsenal academy. It wasn't particularly flash. The part where he had the chance to get a shot off and he completely misses the ball. It's obviously a big disappointment. And I think he looked a little bit overawed today. You know, he just looked a little not shy. You know, he wasn't running away from the ball or anything else. I like that aspect. He was always showing for it and always wanted to get involved, but he looked a little bit too overawed, a little bit, you know, boy versus men kind of thing in some of the battles. And his decision making wasn't all there. It's a very different atmosphere when you come from youth football and now you're playing in front of, you know, that crowd, especially at Newcastle, because that's a proper atmosphere up there. And I'm sure everyone saw that today just from watching. You know, the noise is ridiculous up there. It doesn't matter what happens. They're always singing and screaming the Geordies. And he's probably never played in a stadium like that as well. And that'll have an impact on you as a young player. Because you saw the difference between someone like him and say Rob Holt and Callum Chambers, who've got a lot more experience and sort of used to it. And you look at Joe Willock and he did all right. I would have preferred him to have a home debut in a slightly more comfortable game. You know, but we'll see. I don't want to write someone off on a debut.
You can't write him off. I mean, you know, look, he did look men against boys today. You know, he looked way out of his depth. I'm not going to make an excuse. He's got the technical ability. There was you had Thierry Henry raving about him for the game and just saying, look, it's up to him what he makes of his career. You know. It really does. Yeah, it's up to him what he makes his career. But you know, if you want to play in the Arsenal first 11, you have to perform. Unfortunately, I do think it's the manager's mistake in selecting him today. You know, you could have gone Maitland-Niles. You could, you know, there are other options. Is Jack injured?
I don't think he's injured. No, not as far as I know. So I think he was just taken out of the squad. Yeah,
probably for the best actually, because he's you know he's had a terrible time of it. But you know, let's be quite honest. Willock's performance isn't good enough today, but he's only young. He's got time to improve. He wasn't
helped by his teammates either. Let's be fair.
No. I thought El Nene and Xhaka were very poor today.
Yeah,
I thought they were very poor today. You know, I've got to be honest with you. We didn't dominate that midfield at all. You know, we didn't close down. You know, with Shelvey, you know, after, you know, before the first goal, the equalizer, you could see he's firing those long balls to Gale. But not once did we close him down. Not once.
You can't give a guy who, you can say whatever you like about John Joe Shelvey's mentality, and sometimes he's a liability. There's no doubt about that. But you can't doubt his quality when he's got time on the ball. Because he can put those deliveries in all day. Yeah,
fantastic. Chambers is getting it in the chat box. Really is. I've got to be honest here. He got stood up once by Perez. But
I literally just sent a message in our WhatsApp group saying I think Callum Chambers is doing quite well today, and then Perez absolutely roasted him and sat him down.
No, to be fair, that was great play from Perez, and again, better players have been done by that. But again, I don't think his play was as bad as people are making out there. Really don't. I think I thought
Chambers was decent today. He was strong on the ball, very physical. I like that about him, and you know he had some good scraps, especially with like Slimani as well when he came on.
I think the truth of the matter is today we got done tactically by Rafa.
Yeah, Oh yeah, I think you do have to give credit to Newcastle. I thought they played well today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going to that substitution, Jace. I just want to talk about this because Welbeck comes on for Willock.
Yeah.
I think everyone, understood that Willock looked tired. He was struggling in the game, and we were struggling midfield. So understand, okay, you make the sub. We didn't have who else? Yeah, we only had Maitland-Niles could have been the only sort of other option really, or Reece Nelson as a midfielder. So goes with experience. So as Welbeck's walking on, I fully expect Iwobi's going to come into the middle. Welbeck will go out right. Makes sense. That doesn't happen. I've got no idea what formation we're playing, and we immediately concede a goal.
We're going to talk about the formation. Let's talk about the formation. You do have a natural 10 in Iwobi.
Yeah.
Who, after last week's performance, which was very good for him, he started to build on that. I don't think he was great today, but I don't think he was bad. I think he showed real glimpses of what he can do. And yet you have the running quality and the stamina of Welbeck. I don't understand what was going on there. I really don't. I don't understand why you would leave Welbeck central.
Yeah, it didn't. Like Welbeck was. It was only for, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 minutes most. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but Welbeck was basically playing as the 10. Now, like Welbeck as a second striker behind one, fair enough, but you can't play Welbeck as a 10. No one's raving about Welbeck's amazing technical ability in passing range, are they?
No.
They rave about his athleticism and his running speed, and he's tracking back and all those kind of things. It was just bizarre, and I think the team kind of looked round at each other and they didn't know what they were doing. And what it left was Elneny and Xhaka just sat in the middle, who weren't great in the game anyway, and kind of looking and going, "Where's the third guy that we've been playing with for the last 60 odd minutes?" It's just they just disappeared. And to concede the goal in the way we did, everyone just completely switched off, and to concede from a throw-in, the most basic of things. I mean, seriously.
Do you know the commentator? I was watching the NBC feed, and the commentator, I can't remember his name. The co-commentator wasn't too bad first half. He's obviously a Geordie, but the commentator called it a well-constructed goal, and I just thought, just fuck off and die. Mate, just go in a corner and die, because you're just talking to your ass. It's the actual low point of his career in that comment. Nacho's clearance header was awful, but not one of our players around that ball went for it.
No, just slow again. It reminded me of the. Was it the first goal Southampton scored where Czech made the save and whoever it was reacted and tapped it in, and our defence all just stood still, just sort of like, just put your hand up quick for offside, do anything. But none of them actually moved, And it was the same thing with that as well. Just, why on earth is Monreal heading the ball that way? I don't get it. And then just a complete... no reaction. Is it Slimani wins the header and then the flick on from Perez, which is, he doesn't even connect with it properly. And then, good finish from Matt Ritchie. But just complete lack of any reaction from our players, from the defence to the midfielders. And just because we made one substitution, we just made a sub. And no one is aware of what's going on around them. It's like they're all looking towards the sidelines where Wenger is or something, as if to ask, what are we doing? And Newcastle just take the throw in and we just stand there and go, oh, yeah, you just go score a goal. Why not? Go for it.
But this is the thing now, okay? Just quick shout out, sorry. Viking, we've got some questions in the box already. Viking, Eskingman, CeeLo, Benny Ogden, Just Add Chemical X, David Keith. We're going to discuss what you said. I'm trying to add them as I go along, guys. If you got questions, put them in. You may just put them in a couple of times, because we may be a bit behind on occasion, okay? But we will try to get to you, okay? We will try to do some more shout-outs in a bit as well. But this is the thing that kind of struck me, John. I think you just mentioned it there, where you said, I don't think anybody had a clue what they were doing.
Mm.
I really don't think they had a clue what they would with the setup, etc. And this is the thing, you look at Holding and Chambers. There's a set a relationship in place, so they've played together on many occasions as centre half. You could, El Nene and Xhaka should have a bit more of an understanding. Okay, people talk about Aubameyang and Lacazette. Okay, that won't be a set relationship, and neither will the relationships on the flank between sort of Chambers and Iwobi and Aubameyang and Monreal. So obviously, you've got some new relationships in play there. There's no spine to the team. I think that's just really let us down today. It's really let us down today quite badly. That, unless you have those relationships where people understand what's going to happen when, normally when you see Monreal play left back, you see him as an attacking force, really neat, tidy into play, making the overlap. That wasn't happening today. Okay, not at all. On the right-hand side, Chambers did well getting down the side at times. It will be glimpses of what he can do. Not bad at all, but not effective. But why in our second half does Welbeck come onto the middle? It's bizarre, isn't it? So I don't think I genuinely don't think they were prepared well today. I
don't know what happened with that sub. Why is no one paying attention? I mean, even if there was no substitution at that point, that goal is just criminal to concede. It's just awful all round. It doesn't matter who's on the pitch then. It's shocking from everyone.
The goal was shameful, mate. It was shameful. Yeah. It was an embarrassment. That's something that the Pirates would do at Skull and Bones Park. And even then, Chris would be annoyed at leaving that one in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was so bad, but just conceding a goal from a throw-in is just pathetic. But as soon as that goes in, we have this, like we said, the weird thing with Welbeck playing at 10. I don't know exactly why and why it's not Iwobi. The players all look slightly confused. This carries on for a bit. Then we had some more subs that, like, some of them I just didn't understand. Okay, so Maitland-Niles comes on for Callum Chambers. Okay. Is that because Maitland-Niles is considered better attacking right back than Chambers, or does he think Chambers is having a bad game at that point and needs to bring him off?
I think 10 minutes left. Pace, he does give you more pace, but I didn't understand it at all, mate. When we needed a bit more in the middle to control the tempo of the game, we didn't have it. Yeah. You had the Kennedy break, where a great block from Mustafi. Everybody's giving Mustafi stick today, so let's give him a bit of credit. He got back, great block on Kennedy, and the ball trickles over onto the crossbar. Yeah, that it could have got embarrassing at that point, couldn't it?
Yeah, that was a real. As soon as that happened, I thought, oh no, here we go. Like the team, it was getting to flashbacks of that really bad run we were on, where as soon as we concede a goal, we start to crumble when everyone falls to bits and whatever. And I thought, oh no, it's come back in. It's crept back into our game again. We managed to stabilise a little bit, but yeah, I mean, if anything, Newcastle probably come away from this and think we could have had another goal at least. Especially the way they played in the second half. And it was a good block from Mustafi, but there was like a 5-minute window where you saw the really good bit of Mustafi and the really bad bit, where he dived in for a tackle against Slimani, completely missed it, and got sold. And Slimani's not exactly a quick player. He just did a little shoulder drop, and like Mustafi nearly went sliding off the pitch. But then a minute after that, he makes an amazing block and puts his head and everything else on the line. So, I like his aggression on the ball, but sometimes he just needs to, you don't need to go out to the right wing to try and make a sliding tackle on a player. He's not going to score a goal from there. You haven't just stay on his feet. Yeah, if it's on the edge of the box and it's last ditch and stuff, I get it, but pick your battles, And I think that's that sort of sums up a lot of the team performance today, where they'll do a really good thing, but then they'll just make a simple bad decision in the wrong area of the pitch, and it leads to Newcastle either making a chance or us like breaking down a breakaway for us, or resulting in Newcastle getting a shot on goal, that kind of thing. And it was just consistent bad decisions like everywhere.
Yeah, we had a point where we're in the box. I can't remember who played the ball to Lacazette, but Diami comes back, a great cut out to clear the ball for them. Yeah, they were quicker to the second balls today. They wanted it more, to be honest. The game was littered with piss poor corners from us. Lacazette hit the side netting when I think he was trying to square the ball across the face of the goal. And nothing quite happened for us. We didn't make anything happen, did we? We didn't go out and earn the right to win this game. And it's horrible to say that Newcastle deserved the victory.
Yeah.
They actually deserved it. And, we can't, I was a bit disappointed the referee. First yellow, the game was littered with late challenges in the first half, which all deserved a yellow card. And yet the first yellow card's in the 91st minute for Slimani for sort of kicking the ball away, whatever it is, which is petty and pathetic. I don't think it was a badly officiated game, but I thought, there should have been a couple of yellow cards for a couple of quite naughty challenges.
Yeah, they left their foot in a little bit today.
Yeah.
Nothing malicious or anything, I don't think, but just make it physical and make it awkward. It's what you do against Arsenal. They don't particularly like, or some of the players don't like it. Xhaka's not wanting to complain too much, but refereeing in this country, it's not even bother getting into that.
It's pointless talking about it. They are where they are for a thing.
The last sub we made, Jace, Nketiah coming on, came on for a Iwobi. Is that Wenger just, I've got nothing left, I'll just chuck 4 strikers on the pitch and see what happens? Because I expected Lacazette to come off at some point in the game, to be honest. I know we don't play for another week, but I thought, your star striker in the Europa League, you're going to protect at some point. And he got a really bad kick before the goal he scored, actually. I thought it was a really good way to reply to the tackle that wasn't given as a yellow card. And I don't have a problem with Nketiah coming on. I think it's good for the younger players to get some experience and stuff. But just chuck 4 strikers on and see what happens. Is that,
especially when you're looking at with the Iwobi? I don't think he had a stellar game, but I don't think he was bad. I thought, he was out on the right hand side, and there was not much support for him. So there's no chance of interplay for him. But I just wondered how we were going to get the ball to the 4 strikers.
Yeah,
I didn't see any rhyme or reason to a lot of what we did today. Starting Aubameyang and Lacazette away at sort of St James's Park, where they're effective defensively. They're no frills team. Let's be honest. But they've got some pace to catch you on the break, and they've got some decent midfielders, right? But when you're looking at this, okay. I don't understand how we were attacking the game. Willock had a poison chalice today. It really was a poison chalice for that kid. I genuinely think that, we've spent £100 million on strikers. Okay, if you're going to play them both, have a plan to get the ball to them.
Yeah.
Have a plan to get the ball to them. Robots will eat you. We're going to bring that up later. David, we are gonna ask that question as well. Okay, I just look at it and I just think, look, people will have a pop on me here now, but unless you got Aaron Ramsey and Xhaka in that midfield, fucking give up, because the rest of them, Jack Wilshere's just not good enough at all. People have been raving about bang average performances from him this season. Okay, and at the moment he's struggling. I think, it's a lot of games coming back. for him or have you. I can see him as a deep line playmaker, but he's no B2B. And whenever anybody calls him a creative player, I cringe. I absolutely cringe because the stats don't.
It's no surprise. Sorry, it's no surprise that we're not as good when Ramsey's not a team or Özil. It's obvious we're not going to create as much. Yeah. But the fact that we don't try and adjust our game plan for those players being out of the team is really bizarre.
But the truth to put in there, then, what game plan do you put in? What game plan do you put in to suit that midfield today? Because we'll look at zero positive effect on the game. Okay, not the game to give him his debut. Absolutely not the game to give him his debut.
Yeah, if anything, you play Reece Nelson and then you can put Iwobi in the middle and you've got a creative player behind the strikers, directly behind rather than wide.
Exactly. Yeah. At least you've got that creative sort of there's really good feet, etc. with Iwobi, okay? But it doesn't seem to matter what we do. As Robots Really Do pointed out, we have 0 points. 0 away points in 2018 from all our fixtures. That is the most damning fucking stat of all. That is pathetic. And I'm sorry, okay? If we go on and win the Europa League, okay? And we're going to talk about it in a second. There's been a question on it. Then it is some semblance of a positive season. It is, okay? You can't say that winning a European trophy isn't. But we're 2 games from a final, and we've got alongside us the best team in the competition to play. If we win the Europa League, it's a decent season, but you cannot paper over the cracks of our away form this season. It has been dog shit.
Yeah.
It has been dog shit. Bear me a second. Here we go. Jack has had some good games this season. If either Rams or Ozil get injured, we're done. Richard, I've got to be honest, I don't think Jack has played that particularly well. I really don't. He doesn't control the game. He doesn't create chances. What does he do? He dives a lot. He dives an awful lot. Okay, he'll take the ball down a blind alley an awful lot. But what does he create? Somebody explain to me what this guy creates, and I'll consider it. But at this moment in time, for him to want a pay rise, I'd expect a damn sight more from him on the pitch. Because
my pessimism has infected Nicky Wilson, as he's just said, what's the point? The final was away. Arsenal don't win away.
Well, we've won away in Europe this season, to be fair. But, honestly, you kind of look at it and you just kind of think, I mean, what are your overall feelings towards that game, mate? Let's wrap the game up.
I mean, I think on the pod, I predicted 2-2, I think, was my prediction for the game. I thought it'd be difficult. I wasn't expecting a ton, but just like forward going, the way we went forward first half, I thought was good. Second half, we fell to bits, and the defending again was just so bad. And it's not like it's one person. I picked out Mustafi in that first goal, but in the Perez goal, but it's not just him. It's the build up to it. No closing down. No one stops the cross. Check it's near post. He should probably be saving that. The second goal was just the whole team switches off. No one's paying attention, and they just don't seem to be alert, in particular in away games. And I think even if you look at some of the home games that we've had our good run of form that's come back, we've still been shaky at the back, and we've been lucky in games not to concede some goals. So I'm disappointed. The good thing is that we've got a week now before, is it West Ham we're playing next? West Ham next Sunday, and then obviously into the Europa League game. So as long as we get a result in the West Ham game before Europe, the game against Atletico, then I'll be pleased. But the issue comes again that as soon as European games coming up, you want to rest players and make sure you don't get any injuries and stuff, and that means that you're putting out such a worse team in compared to our first choice 11, which I think is a lot better than people rate. But defensively, we still got big issues. and the concentration level isn't there. And I don't, have the play? Is it some crept into their head a little bit that the Premier League doesn't really matter?
I think maybe it has. Maybe it has.
Yeah,
I think maybe it has. But actually, I mean, if you look at our away performances this season, they've been carbon copies of each other. There's a lack of desire there. There's a lack of understanding there. It's more than just no. It's been there all season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a case of how do we stop this? Because I've got to be honest here. I don't just blame the manager on this. I blame the players as well. I just look at it and I just think, I'd expect better from Xhaka than what he produced today. He kind of went through the motions for me today. El Nene is what El Nene is. He's 7 out of 10. He's not going to create a massive amount other than a cold night in Russia. But the players around him, I didn't understand why Iwobi was playing out on the right-hand side. I thought you could have played him a bit more centrally. I don't understand the reasoning behind giving Willock his debut away from home.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand it. I looked at it and I thought, there's no joined up thinking here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's get to some questions then, is it? Okay, the chat box. Yeah, we're all unhappy today. I do get it. I do get it. Fantastic. We're on 41 likes. Come on, guys. Get us over the 70, please. Come on. This is, you wouldn't believe how many of these away losses I've had to do this season, and I've had a guts full of it. I genuinely just wanted to stuff this off and have a nap after that bag of wank we saw today. What these players have produced today has been not just uninspiring, it's been shameful. So if you can give us a thumbs up, really, really appreciate it. And remember, if you are listening on iTunes, a 5-star review is always welcome. The guys, everybody gives up their time. I thought Josh, Carl, and Ellis, or I think, was it Ellis or Elid who was on the radio show midweek?
He wasn't very good, so it was Ellis.
Yeah, it was. But as he did point out, he's the only one who didn't mute himself. But I thought they did a fantastic job midweek. I really enjoyed listening to that. So Nicky Wilson, you are right. I'm almost on the verge of tears.
I nearly had to do this on my own today, chat box, and that would have been dreadful.
Do you know what? It's come to that recently with everyone's shift work. The guys got jobs where there's shift work involved, where it's been a tough one this season. It has. So we'll have a look at it now. But we may get a couple of pod guys on before the end of the season as well, hopefully. Right, okay, so first question, and this is from Viking. Why didn't we play our strongest team? We aren't even playing this Thursday. And somebody else says, Benny Ogden says, Liverpool and Man City players aren't getting rested. Why are our players so different, John?
Well, I think when you look at the games that Liverpool City had, they're games you can't rest players for. They're big derbies or they're big European ties, and they just fell at that time where you just got to keep playing them. And also, I think Man City actually probably would have rotated if they had the option to, but they've actually got a lot more injuries than people think. Their squad isn't as deep as everyone likes to think it is. I do agree to some extent. Yeah, we could have played some more first teamers today. I think resting Ramsey's the right thing because, they've managed him this season very, very well, and that's why he's been able to play so many games. Could he have played today? Maybe, but I'm not the fitness guy.
That cut, didn't he? The cut. They'll want to leave that heel after putting stitches and that.
Ozil, could he have played? Yeah, probably. I mean, he didn't do a lot in Moscow, so he could have played today. I think it is just a case of there's no point risking players getting an injury or picking up. I mean, suspensions don't matter so much now in the league, but there's no point letting them like risk of getting a knock or anything, because everything is on the Europa League. We've got nothing else to play for. That is it. So you want your best players.
We have a centre half in Koscielny who we knew from last season. We are going to have to manage him. He's not had the greatest season anyway, but at that point, we surely have to be looking at bringing somebody in to challenge him and Mustafi, to put pressure, to raise standards. And that's the bit which is a little bit galling. We've left ourselves short again.
Yeah. Again, that's the club, not the players. You can't blame the players for that.
No, you can't. But Arsene has left this squad short. I up until the point where the financial restrictions really came off us and we signed Ozil, I had no problem with what he was doing. John's got a different kind of point of view on it, and that's fine. I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer to this, but I think that season where I don't know how many times I've said it, but that season where you only bring in Czech, where you're relying on Mikel fucking Arteta, and and Thomas's excuse, half his career at the club he's been injured, and you're relying on those guys. You're knocking us back 2 seasons by not bringing in somebody to come in and challenge. You look at Jack at the moment. Jack's form at the moment, he needs a rest. It's his first. I know he had
4 years, probably. It's the first time he's played this many games, isn't it? It's got to be.
Oh, it's 5 years, mate. Yeah. I mean, how many games did he play for Bournemouth last season? And whereas I'm not, whereas I think Jack would be a very effective deep-lying playmaker, he can do B2B for maybe 1 or 2 games. And today he may have been able to do a job. But when you haven't got those players to replace them, it's just squarely down on the manager.
Yeah, and I think you saw that today. Like what Vikings asking, why didn't the first team play? There's the obvious reasons why, which all make sense, and I agree with for the ones that are rested. But then you get the problem of the players you bring in aren't of the right quality, and the drop off is so big. And if you're playing, say, West Brom, who are awful at the moment, fair enough. I'm not saying Newcastle are well.
We didn't win away at West Brom. No, we didn't fucking win away. And and this is the side of it, okay? This is the side which really gets me, okay? We're talking about these youngsters coming through. They have to earn the right. When they get their chance, okay? I thought Willock was dealt a crap hand today. I'll be honest with you. But when you get the chance to represent the Arsenal, you got to take it. You got to take it.
Yeah, and the problem, the issue for them is that you're trying to express yourself and play with a bit of freedom and stuff, as lots of young players do. But you're coming into a team that's not functioning right at the moment. In a lot of areas on the pitch. We've been good in Europe for the most part, not all the games, but it's very difficult for a young player to come in and affect a game and show what you can do when you're playing in a team that's not performing to the right level. The lack of depth today really it's been screaming out in quite a few games this season. It's happened a few times.
Absolutely. Do me a favor, mate. If you keep an eye on the chat box, sure. I'll run through the questions here. SQ Man says Chambers is not Arsenal quality. Check BFG and Cos finished. Mustafi garbage. Your take on that?
I like Callum Chambers. I think he's got a lot more to offer. When he was at Borough, he was very, very good, put in some great performances. He's got good experience in the Premier League. He's still very young. Today, he was played out of position. That's not his fault, but if you're asked to do it, you still have to do a job. I thought he was decent first half. Second half, he lagged a little bit, but you've also got to get help from the people around you. I thought Iwobi helped him quite well in the first half. In front of him was getting back and tracking back. Mustafi next to him was okay, but the midfield didn't help the defence at all today. And that makes it really difficult. And when you've got Perez and Dwight Gale, who are going to run you ragged all day long, that's a hard job to do, especially from a position where you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to be playing. So, no, I'd keep Chambers. I think there's a player there. Cech, I think, he's clearly on the decline. I think that's obvious to everyone to see. Goalkeeper is something we definitely need in the summer. Mertesacker is done. He's retiring anyway, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, clearly that cup game last season, which he was magnificent, and I will always love him for. He was amazing in that. That clearly was his last game. Cos, I think now should only be a squad player, just because he can't play enough. I think when he's fully fit, he's still a very good defender. But yeah, it's clear that we need players. Mustafi, I'm torn on, because half of me thinks if he had more tactical manager and a midfield in front of him that helped him more, would you see the best bits from him? Because there were really good bits of his game, and you saw some of them today, like Jay said about the block and stuff. But when you see some of the other bad decisions he makes, where he dives in, he makes tackles on the right wing where he shouldn't be, and clearances across his own box like he did in Moscow and things like that, you're like, is your brain all there? So I don't know. I'm really torn on Mustafi, because I think there's a player there. I think the problem is he's always going to be tagged with that price, the price that we paid for him and whatever, and everyone will go, he should be a £35 million defender. I don't think he was. We just had to pay that, unfortunately, because of the Premier League money and stuff.
No, we had to pay that because Arsenal did that. We could have had him for 20 million quid, but we left it so late in the day. Look, I got to be honest here. I think Chambers is a player there. Yeah. He reached an age grade World Cup final this season. Him and Holding, I think they could be, they could really play a part in success at the Arsenal. But alongside Mustafi, I think they need proper coaching. Yeah. You can see by the culture we've got in a defender at the moment, where we panic so often. The defense aren't there to help out. Okay, it's an issue, but it's been an issue before now.
Yeah, it's not something. Someone in the chat earlier, I apologise to who put it. I didn't see, but someone said, "Are you bored of talking about the same problems we've had for nearly 10 years?"
Yeah.
And in a way, yeah, because sometimes you come on the radio show and like a performance like that, and it's like, well, what are we going to say that was any different from the last time we lost? Because we're saying the same things again. Which is why we love you so much in the chat box, because you come back and watch.
I can't believe people support us so much.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. But it is a culture thing that's been going on for so long. So I think, you can slate the defenders and stuff, and yeah, there have been some very bad ones who are clearly not good enough quality. But there's clearly a player in Mustafi. He's got something about him.
He's put in some towering performances this season. And against Tottenham at home, he was superb.
Yeah. And then he makes these weird mistakes, and you just think, it's so frustrating watching him, But Koscielny's been like that as well, his whole Arsenal career. He's put in some amazing performances and then makes stupid decisions. So I do think eventually it just comes, you have to just look back to coaching and stuff. Because people have said, oh, let's go and sign Manolas, or let's go and sign Koulibaly and all these players. They're all good defenders. Don't get me wrong, they're all great defenders. But if they're not coached properly, if your
midfield's not protecting you,
yeah,
you're just swapping one problem for a more expensive problem. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Cech is, as I said, he's on the decline. There's no getting away from it. BFG, Pierre's retiring.
Yeah.
Probably should have retired after the cup final, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a good idea to keep him, but he did games, and it's a bit difficult. But I think the most important thing for us is getting people in who can coach a defense.
Yeah.
Right. C-Law AFC asks, if we're not going to play Bellerin for certain games, should we revert to a 3 at the back rather than keep using these makeshifts as a wing back? Now, people say, we bought Chambers as a right back. He was a centre half who could play right back. But the boy's body shape, his pace, everything dictates that he is a centre back and not a right back. I don't understand why we didn't play Maitland-Niles today. I think that would have been a good move because he's got the pace to get back and defend. But yeah, I would go to a back 3, actually. I would go to a back three in these situations. The difficulty is, I don't think we've got enough fit centre halves. And so I think, yet again, we're let down by the lack of quality in certain areas in the squad. John, your take on it?
I wouldn't change the formation. I think when we were playing back three, we were struggling a lot. We only had the two in the middle. I really don't think it worked. I just don't think the players understood the formation properly. Again, I do agree with you. Like Maitland-Niles probably would have been the better choice today, but I think he was just coming back from an injury, so maybe that's why he didn't start the game and he came on as a sub. I'm not really sure. And I think the moment we go to a back three, what happens is Nacho gets taken out of left back, gets put in at centre back, and Kolasinac gets played. Who, to be perfectly honest, other than the start of the season, I think has been pretty dreadful for us. And I'd rather not have him on the pitch at the moment. The Bellerin issue is more a fact that we don't have another right back. That's the big problem. And again, that comes back to the the management and the club itself not having invested enough and having sufficient depth. So yeah, it's a big issue, that right back, that position, and I think it's one that might cause problems in the summer in terms of our recruitment, because it's something that has to be looked at, and then obviously that affects what you can spend on other areas.
Yeah, but let's be honest, we're not going to spend 50 million quid on a right back, are we?
No. I mean, if we spend 50 million quid on another player this summer, I was going to say I'll be impressed, although we did it for Aubameyang and Lacazette, but I don't know if we'd go that big again. But yeah, we'll see.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, Just Add Chemical asks, can we do a small section on for managers? We're going to keep it really brief on this, okay? Give me 3 options you'd like to see replace Arsene.
Luis Enrique, although he's probably getting the Chelsea job.
That's going to break my heart, that is.
Yeah. Jardim from Monaco, and Nagelsmann, I think that's how you pronounce it, who now does look available because Bayern have got Kovac in. They've announced their manager for next season. So there would be my 3. I mean, there's others out there as well, and I'm sure there's probably lots of other people. Like people was chucking all sorts of names: Conte, Allegri, Ancelotti. Ancelotti, not for me. No, if it was for 1 year, then yeah, I'd take him, but I don't want him long term. He's too much of more the same. He's too nice.
I wouldn't take Ancelotti, I've got to be honest with you, but Allegri, yeah. But those 3, I don't think you can go far wrong from those.
It's funny that everyone likes Allegri so much, because he completely cocked up for like, I don't know, 130 odd minutes against Real Madrid and got it right for like the last, 40 of the game, across 2 legs.
But at least he got it right for 40.
Yeah, no, it's true. And he did the same thing in other ties against like Barcelona and stuff. His Champions League record is, although he's got to finals and stuff, it's weird. Like he doesn't get the game plan right until very much to the end. I'm not saying I wouldn't have Allegri. He's a very good manager, but yeah, it's slightly bizarre.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? I can't add anything else. Allegri would be one because of his attention to detail. I think he'd make us stronger defensively. But then again, I think I'd make us stronger defensively, which is a terrible thing to say.
Well, they'd be terrified of you, Jace.
I got fucking bananas, I got to be honest. I would lose my shit on a regular basis.
Neil Cooper, Conte, Simeone, I'm with you. Sean Dyche, go away. Come on.
To be fair, Sean Dyche has managed very well this season, and they've played good football.
Actually, they might finish above us. They're 2 points behind.
Everybody slags off Sean Dyche, but when you look at the comparative budgets, okay, when you look at the football they've played, okay, and I hate Burnley. Let's be no bones about it. Some terrible cheating and conniving going on there, but they played good football at times, and by God, they've done well for what they've got. For what they've got, they've done very well with. So people sniff at somebody like Sean Dyche, but people moan that it's not a great English managers. With the budget he's got, he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not averse to taking, like a left field pick. It's people hate his voice.
But let's be straight, okay? If people start mentioning Mikel Arteta, they can go fuck themselves. Fucking idiots. Right, David Keith asks, logic on the pitch. Do you think Auba and Laka work or not?
Tough to say. I mean, it was a good ball in today. You just put it in a good area where if you're a striker where you'd want it, if you're attacking the back posts. They looked like they enjoyed playing together. They looked for each other in the box and tried to set each other up. I thought a couple of times interchanged nicely. It's the first time we've seen it, so it's hard to make a real judgment. But yeah, I thought it worked okay. They were picking up different positions, making good runs, head up play, stretching defense as well. It's very difficult if you're a defender. You see them two on the pitch. That'd be terrifying, So yeah, it's promising, and the fact that we saw the two of them together playing is promising. And if we get to see more of that maybe next season, it could be exciting. The only criticism I would have is Aubameyang obviously started on the left and was predominantly playing there unless they were changing, but Nacho at times was a little bit exposed down that side. A couple of times Alba got back and defended very well, but there was a few times where he was 2v1 defending, and in that case, what you need to do is then as a midfielder, you need to be more aware and come across and cover that space because Alba sometimes will be a little bit late coming back.
Thing is as well, we didn't have enough quality in midfield to get them the ball in good areas either, did we? Yeah. We didn't utilise Aubameyang's space.
You saw when they broke, they really spread the defence and really stretched them really well. Yeah.
So why did we not put the ball over the top for him to chase on occasion? Every now and again, just speculative ball. Right, let's scare them. Let's push these guys back to give them space to run into ahead of the defence. Yeah. But we don't play heads up football. We just don't, unfortunately, and that's a big issue for us. Okay, Unique 79 asks, says we have leaked 45 goals in 33 games. We've lost 11 matches. Why haven't we done anything to resolve this? Do you know what? I'm going to answer that.
Go on.
Fucking pure incompetence. That's the truth of the matter. We've not done to resolve it because we haven't brought in the necessary talent to be able to compete, to be able to rotate players. We know we have to manage Aaron Ramsey. We know we have to manage Lauren Koscielny. But I don't think at centre-half we've had Holding and Chambers given enough game time together. They played that the Carabao Cup game against West Ham, did very well together. And they had, not only did they have pace to contend with that night, they also had the threat of the physicality of Andy Carroll. And you saw them go at him. But again, partnerships, even though they played age grade football together, you have to form partnerships within the team. They haven't had a chance to do that. Midfield, we are lacking a top quality midfielder. We are lacking one top quality midfielder.
Well, the only partnership we have in our midfield is when Ramsey and Xhaka play together. That's when we look the most solid and they look comfortable playing together. When they first started playing together, it didn't look great. Let's be honest, it wasn't fantastic, but they had some time and some games, and they really understand each other's game now.
Yeah.
And that's you need those partnerships all over different areas of the park, and that's what we're missing. But so many, you can point to so many different things to why we concede in so many goals. From the goalkeeper not performing well to the centre backs themselves. The fullbacks not stopping crosses coming in, getting caught high up the pitch, the midfield not covering the defence, players turn over the ball in bad positions, giving away dodgy free kicks in bad areas, just so many basic, simple errors. And it's consistent. It's not just one player, it's throughout the team.
There's a litany of issues, isn't there? Litany of issues. Yeah. Okay, it's incompetence, Unique. It's incompetence, let's be honest. K-Man 1867 asks your thoughts on drawing Atletico in the semis.
I'd have preferred to get him in the final. I think we would. I'm not supposed to comment on this. I put a tweet out because I'll jinx it. But No, but I would have preferred the final because I think in a one-off game we would do better. Can we beat them? Yes, I think we can. We're capable of it. We've got when we're on form. I think when you see Ramsey, Özil, Lacazette, hopefully Mkhitaryan will be back as well. That's a big player we're missing at the moment. I think people have kind of forgotten about. That's a really exciting, potent forward line that can open up a very stubborn defence like Atletico. So I think we can score goals. My worry is whether we can keep a clean sheet. That's the big issue. So I think it's possible we go through. It's not the draw I wanted. I would have preferred Marseille or Salzburg. But take what you can get. You have to beat the best teams. I remember having to play. Was it Villarreal? We had to play on the way to the final in the Champions League, and they had a ridiculous home record in Europe, especially against English sides. And then you had the penalty shootout, and it's Juan Roman Riquelme who never missed a pass, a shot, a penalty, anything ever in his life. And Mad Jens in goal, and I couldn't even watch the penalty. I had to turn away from the screen. And I didn't give us any chance in that, and we went through, and it was amazing. That was one of my favourite nights.
That season we beat Juventus, we beat Real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know we haven't got the squad we had in 2004, 2005, etc. I know that, okay? But we do have some very fine players. Yeah. And for all the Griezmann's a fabulous player, and for all the Diego Costa's a great player, we've got Aubameyang. We got, no, not Aubameyang in this competition, I do apologise. We've got Lacazette. Yeah. We've got Mesut Ozil. We've got Aaron Ramsey, okay? We just need to get team selection right.
Yeah. Team selection and the attitude on the night has got to be right. And I think the other thing as well is the one thing you've seen with these players is when it is a big game, generally, not always, but generally speaking, they do up their performance. They are alert and awake for it. And it's the one thing that you would criticise a team of is when they go in against the so-called smaller teams, they kind of think it's a walk in the park and they're going to breeze it and don't have the right attitude. Whereas I think in the bigger games, they know, none of the players are going to walk into this thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. They're all going to be really revved up for this. Because let's be honest, this is what should be a Champions League game for both sides, realistically. This is like a Champions League tie. So, so it's not the draw I wanted, but I'm still hopeful we can do it. I really do hope Mkhitaryan is back for it, though. Or at least for one of the games, even if it's just for the second leg. I think that'll be huge.
I think that's massive, that isn't it? I think his creativity, he's surprised me. With some of his
quite a nasty little git as well sometimes as well.
Yeah, yes, there's a side to him, isn't there? There's a real side to him. But more to the point, I think the way he runs at defenders, I think it's a bit different for everybody else we got. And I think if you get the ball to Lacazette in good positions, we can beat anybody. We need Meza to turn up, obviously, but we need Ramsey on the pitch as well. But we're all forgetting here at the moment that Atletico lost away to Sporting. Last week. I don't think they're as great as they're made out to be, but we are capable of beating anyone and losing to anyone. So, let's wait and see what happens. The robots will eat you. Even if Wenger leaves, can you see anything changing next season?
Well, yeah, there will be some big changes. Whoever the manager is going to bring in some of his own coaching staff, obviously. He'll have some targets in mind for the team. How much will he be able to affect it depends on how much our budget is for the summer, for the spend, and also depends on when he comes in, if it is a new manager coming in this summer. I honestly don't know whether there is going to be one. I'm kind of the opinion that it's not. The big thing is if someone comes in, we need to get him in immediately.
Yeah.
Because you've got the World Cup and it's going to make getting players so difficult. And also players come back as well. They come back late from the World Cup, so they're not going to be ready for the start of the season. I'm not saying I don't want a new manager, because I do, but weirdly, it's kind of felt that this is an awkward time to replace Arsene for consistency's sake. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we don't get a new manager. Of course we do, but it's a very awkward summer just because of the World Cup and stuff. To get somebody,
That's fair enough, but I think, if you pick the right guy, first of all, no matter who comes in, if he was to go this summer, everything changes. Yeah, everything changes. Forget about, people say we don't spend the money. We got two £50 million strikers in the pitch today. Right? We do spend money. We're going to have new contracts kicking in soon, new sponsorship deals. So there'll be more money available to spend as well, right?
Yeah.
At this moment in time, it's how we utilize that. But I think if you get the right coach in, the fresh boost of energy and attention to detail it will give us could be, it could be massive for us. Again,
it's just having that bit of time before the season starts with the players to try and implement your ideas, and you just don't get that time because of a World Cup. I've
got to be honest. I think there's a lot of our players who'd be fucking lucky to go to a World Cup and their performances the rest of the season. I'll be honest. I look at some people. I'm not going to pick on poor Jack, but there's no way I'd take him to a World Cup. Not a chance in hell.
Have you seen the English midfielders?
Yeah, I don't care. I think Jordan Henderson's been a far better player than him this season, and I think he's dog shit. I look at Hector at the moment. How does Hector get the Spanish side? I don't think he does.
I'm not sure he does.
Mustafi at the moment. How does he get in the German side?
No, he don't. No.
Koscielny. Would I pick Koscielny for France? Fucking no chance. Which one of our guys are going to go to a World Cup? They don't deserve it. Genuinely, they don't deserve to. Mesut's lucky he turns up for Germany because sometimes he doesn't turn up for us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to be taken into account here. Okay, on to the next one. We got a couple of questions, then we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Jeffrey O'Hara, if you had to try and pull one positive out of today, what would it be? Fucking nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing. Not one positive. Not one. Dog shit performance. Should hang their heads in shame. Oh
no, I've got one positive. It's not from an Arsenal perspective, but it was nice to see Gaza in the stands with a smile on his face, watching the game.
I don't give a fuck about Gaza. Great talent, but he played for the Spuds, so fuck him. David Keith asks, do you think we had any plan from a coaching point? It looked a mess. I got to be honest with you. I think there was a plan there. I think it was a badly thought out plan. I don't think it was communicated well. And I think you could see that in the performance. John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the start of the game we had a plan. Second half, Newcastle came out better than us. They obviously got the goal. We really wobbled. And the first sub, they had no idea what they were doing. El Neni was like moving from in between a back three and to midfield, and they were all over the shop. So I don't know if it's been communicated badly, or the manager hasn't explained it, or players have come on and they're sort of going, wait, why is Welbeck there, and why am I over here, and I'm in Iwobi, and it was awful, and it showed a little bit in that Moscow game as well. There was that 10-minute period where El Neni was moving from midfield to defence, back and forth and stuff, and the team didn't have a clue what the shape was. It's happened a few times, this season. It's very embarrassing, because we should be able to. The amount of times we played with a back three, if he did want to change to that, then we should be able to smoothly transition between the two. But yeah, midfield was a complete mess today, especially after the subs.
Absolutely. Ted Woods asks, I'm all for passing the ball, being an Arsenal fan. What has happened to the footballer that we can take a man on and beat him, e.g. Zaha and Palace? I think Arsene likes to play a certain way. He likes this horseshoe football, probing a team, drawing them out, trying to find that chink of light to play through. And I've got to be honest, we've bought that type of player rather than taking guys who can take a man on. He bought Alexis Sanchez, who could take men on, and all of a sudden the game, our game became all about Sanchez rather than utilizing him effectively. I think there's a lack of pace in this team as well, and that's a bit of a concern. we need a bit more pace throughout this team. I know you got Aubameyang, Hector's off the boil with his pace recently. Maitland-Niles has got good pace. There's very little pace on the left-hand side, and other than Mavropanos, the Greek wonder who hasn't played for us yet, there's very little pace on centre halves and on midfield. You know, you got Ramsey with his engine, but other than that, yeah, Ramsey and El Neni got good engines, but other than that, there's not pace there. Not even Lacazette doesn't have pace.
Those,
so I think
those type of players are very rare nowadays, though. It's weird. There's not a ton of them. Like true old school wingers that will dribble and go past people. You look around the leagues.
The problem is when you do see one, you call them the Egyptian Theo Walcott.
Wait,
yes!
When he doesn't dribble past people, he runs past them, and then his bad first touch scores a goal.
Does he take them on? Does he beat them? I wonder if Harry Kane will try to claim an extra goal today. I'm loving that. I'm absolutely loving that. The most embarrassing thing ever.
Did you see Paddy Powers paying out on a first goal scorer, correct goal scorer anytime Harry Kane? And it was, I can't remember who scored the goal now. Yeah, someone else. It was great.
Superb. Archie asks, would it be better to sack Wenger before Atletico? Players will be boosted and fighting for places next season. I don't, Archie. I really don't. I think that would leave us in a bigger mess than we're in at the moment. And you know, we say we're in a massive mess. Away from home we are. Our home form is very good. And our European form is better. So, no, I don't think. I think you've just got to leave it run out and see what happens. John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the time to have moved Arsenal on was, you know, around January, to be honest, if they were going to do it during a season, because that was when the form was awful and the players really needed something. Now I think, you know, the form has turned around other than today's result, obviously. Yeah, I wouldn't, as much as I want the man gone, now is just pointless. You know, you just see the rest of the season out. I think if you did it now, it's destabilizing for the team. And it cocks up some transfer like contract negotiations, things like that. It just puts too much out of whack.
Yeah, you know, it's a big one on the moment, and we're hearing different things from different people, and who knows what's going to happen. Jeffrey O'Hara asks, Diego Simeone, master tactician, versus Arsene Wenger with no plan whatsoever. But how does Simeone plan for a team which doesn't play with a plan? Could a randomness help them against us?
Yeah, I saw someone with the genius tweet about that the other day. No, we don't have a plan in terms of how to deal with the opposition, but we have a plan in the way we play. It's very obvious, and I think people say it a lot. You know, you block up the middle because we like to play through the centre. You force us out wide because we don't use any width, and eventually we just sort of go round the horseshoe. And at one point we'll try a through ball, which is going to be blocked off because, you know, that's what Atletico do. They're very good at cutting those balls out. And if they put a ball in from wide, they've got the centre backs to deal with it. So I think they just do that and break on us and wait for our fullbacks to push high up the pitch. I mean, that's what I do. Try and hit balls over the top of the centre backs as well. So, yeah, I mean, we'd have to play very different from the way we've played, you know, for the last, 20 odd years. Well, not that long under. I don't know, last 8 years under Wenger, we've played this kind of football. So yeah, I don't think Simeone will have a problem planning for it. It'd be nice if we went into the game with a plan of how to deal with them, though. That's something we don't do enough. We concentrate on our own game too much, which is fine because you should be confident in your own game and your ability to beat people and break them down. But you have to also have a plan of how to defend against them and the tactics they will employ. Which I don't think we do enough in games.
Absolutely. Ajax are getting humped by PSV. Last question of the day anyway. Why are we so adverse to having proper wide midfielders when we often end up going blindly throwing poor crosses in when we go down the park? I look at that and I think, you know, we had Theo, we had Yox who didn't come off. You know, didn't perform for us. I don't know anymore. You know, we've never had really since Overmars. You know, you kind of look at what's his name? Bobby Perez. You look at Lumberg. You know, they're very, although Perez is a beautifully silky smooth player, he wasn't somebody who would kind of take men on. It's more about his passing range. Freddie the same. I just don't think it's how Arsene wants to play. Even when we had, Ollie in the middle, we didn't throw the ball into him, did we?
No, not really. And it's weird that we sold Walcott and then we changed formation to a system that would probably, suit him more now than anything else.
Oh, hold up there. Gypsy Chavi's back. Do you know what?
Oh, he's all right. I read through some of his messages. He was asking genuine questions and then threw in some funny ones.
Oh,
I have got more hair around my chin than my head, though. You're right.
Are you a bit of a silver fox up top, though, aren't you?
That's the old what they called the Malin streak, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, the old TV show. Fucking it, that's showing me age. Anyway, people always ask for wide players and say, "Oh, we should sign this guy, that guy, and whatever." And I always say, "Well, that's good, but we don't use width.
Yeah,
our width comes from fullbacks. That's the way we do it, and our quote unquote wide forwards always come inside, and that's the way Arsenal likes to play. I think we'd have to get Arsenal to get the team to play a very, very different shape. When you see like City, Sane and Sterling basically say on the sidelines up until a certain point in the pitch to keep as much width as possible. Our players don't do that. We don't play that wide. Oh God, someone just mentioned Jovino in chat.
But this is the thing. I was about to mention Jovino. Jovino's the last proper wide attacker we bought.
Yeah, he was a proper dribbler winger who would take people on and try and beat them and stuff.
And we didn't utilise him properly, and we bullied him out of the club.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's like I said earlier. Not a lot of teams really use wingers anymore, and it's like Leicester did it very successfully when they won the league. I think that's part of the reason why they won the league, because teams aren't used to defending it. But I'd like to see a wide player who's exciting and takes people on and takes it past. And that's why I liked it when Alexis was at the club, because he would do that. He'd take a man on. And I think we've got players who can do it. I think Iwobi's got the ability to do it.
Didn't we buy Alexis as a striker though? That's the
God
thing
knows.
I don't get.
Yeah,
I don't know the thinking behind it. I don't think it's joined up thinking behind it, is there?
No, I don't think there isn't a lot the club has done in terms of transfer policy of who's been bought for what position. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. And like people are saying, Alexis was never wide though. Yeah, no, it's true. He came inside, but at least he would take people on. He'd dribble past him. He'd make something happen.
And then he'd give the ball away, and then he'd fuck it up, and
go home, go on Instagram, and he'd take a video of him and his dogs in bed together, and
that was just strange. I'm sorry. I'm thoroughly pleased he's having such a wonderful time at United.
Yeah, I would love to see some wide players at the club, but I think even if you buy them, people talk, who's the French kid from Monaco? Chris wanted.
The boy we was maybe.
Not Malcolm, the other one.
No, yeah. Liverpool are in for him as well. Come on, chat box. Wide player.
Monaco plays for Monaco. Chris loves him. Obviously because he's French. Lamar, there we go. Yeah,
Lamar.
It was 50-50, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure he was going to try to sign the singer, to be honest. It would have made more sense.
Right. He's a good wide player, but if we signed him, he wouldn't play Lamar like wide. He'd be telling him to cut inside and everything else. He wouldn't be, getting him out to the byline, that kind of thing. So
I could actually see us playing, 10, 2 wide.
Yeah.
1 up top. And 2 in the middle.
Yeah,
I could see him doing that. I really could.
But I guarantee those 2 that are wide would end up coming in, and we'd have to get our width from Nacho and Hector.
But the thing is, I love Nacho Monreal, and he's probably been our best defender this season. But he's another one, but it's about time. We upgraded, and and look, we bought Kolasinac. So in his first season, it's been a tough one for him. We've got to get better out of these guys. But I don't know. We wait and see.
I've got a great way to end this because the robots will eat you is definitely done it. Best thing to end on. Wenger would play Malcolm in the middle. There we go. That's fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful. Leon Davis asks, what about Fakir? Hey, Chris isn't here. Don't wind him up. Don't wind him up. Have you noticed, okay? Have you noticed? Let's have a bit of pirate banter before we go. Chris's love for Arsene Wenger dipped when Lacazette had a dip in form.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And people started digging Lacazette out for his performances and stuff. And it's the only time I've ever seen Chris criticise the manager. He really...
He even called him a name. He even called him a name on several occasions. It was terrible. It was terrible. Right, okay, that's it. So we got Marble Halls TV. We've got Unique 79. Leon Davis, Gypsy Chavi, Robert Solitu, Nicky Wilson, Daniel Cronin, and 235-100, Thunder Road, Lee First, Last First, sorry, Lee Army, Nude Guna, Paul Alvis. Guys, thank you ever so much for the support. As always, you've been brilliant. You know, the chat box has been magic today. And after the crock of shit the Arsenal served us up, it's a great credit to you all. John, thank you for your company, mate. Once again, just the two of us.
Yeah. Don't start singing. We get the album requests again on Twitter.
You don't. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. It's ridiculous. Thomas from Norway's there as well. Sorry, Thomas, I did miss you there. I do apologise. Yeah, thank you to everybody listening on iTunes or whatever platform. Thank you ever so much. Thumbs up would be nice, guys. We really appreciate it. 5-star reviews. Oh, Dave Faber's in the house. Dave Faber, the one and only. You know, 5-star reviews on iTunes, etc. Anything to help us would be really, really appreciated. Damn Sumption. Yes, the sun is now shining in Wales, thankfully. Shame it's not shining on our shower of shit. Shame it's not shining on our shower of shit. Hey, that's one for the ages. Yeah. Thank you all so much, guys. You take care of yourselves. Keep it Arsenal. Keep on smiling. Hopefully we'll have a better result for West Ham. We'll see you then. You take care. Goodbye. How do I stop this?